Hey guys, it's Zachary from HardwareZone, and today I'm going to take a break from smartphones and smartwatches and cameras and all that and just drink some coffee, have a chat, you and I, about the new Nespresso Vertuo Plus machine. If you've been out and about in the past month or so, and I know you have because it's phase 2, all the malls are open, you would have noticed that Nespresso has basically plastered the walls of every mall or every shop location that they have with this new line of machines called the Nespresso Vertuo, right? This guy over here, right? That guy over there, and yes, the Vertuo. But anyway, if you know Nespresso at all, you probably know that they do launch new machines from time to time. You know, they have simple machines to machines that make milk, that do frothing. But they all use the same pod, coffee pod, right? And up until now, Nespresso basically sells 2 types of coffee pods, one for consumers, ourselves, we walk in the shop, that's what we buy, and the other one that they sell to businesses is like their professional range. That's the flat one where sometimes you see in hotel restaurants and boardrooms, you know, you have like this flat coffee pot where you put in the machine, but it does exactly the same thing. You take a pot, you put it in the machine, and it makes coffee. The Vertuo line does exactly the same thing, but it uses a brand new pod. So first thing that comes to mind is that, whoa, the boxes are huge, because you know what? So are the pods. Nespresso Vertuo pods, completely different from the standard ones, which let's call them the standard ones. Anyway, right? So, but basically, they are the same thing, right? In the sense that you buy a pod, you put it in a machine, press one button, still that, and your coffee comes out. So, why is Nespresso making another type of pod? Now, here's the thing you might not know is that the Vertuo system and the Vertuo pods aren't actually new. It's actually been around for the past 5-6 years. The Vertuo line was launched in February 2014. Now that's 6 years ago. Apparently in America, because it was designed to appeal to the demand by North Americans for larger servings of coffee than the original Nespresso machines would produce. So why did Nespresso have to make like a whole new coffee machine and capsules just to sell to people who want to drink a larger cup? I mean, couldn't you make a larger cup of coffee with the original capsules? I mean, you could, right? Most people do. If I want to make a double espresso, for example, I use 2 capsules. But quite a lot of people actually double brew their coffee. You know, you press the button twice with the same capsule, try and get the most out of your capsule, and that kind of works, but it kind of also ruins your coffee because you're over brewing it and now it tastes burnt and disgusting. But that was actually a limitation with the original capsules. You see, the original Nespresso capsules were all the exact same size, so there was that much amount of coffee you can put in regardless. Right? This new Vertuo system, if you look at the capsules, they are of different sizes. This blue one here, it's called the Diavolito, and on the capsule is actually written the brew size as well. You can make, this makes a 40 ml espresso beverage, while this Furtado one makes 150 ml beverage. And I've got another one here, yes, the Intenso. And this again is larger than the Furtado. This makes a 230 ml beverage, and there's actually another one that makes one up to 400 something milliliters. That's kind of like a bottle of coffee. And the thing is, to make larger coffees, you need a capsule with more coffee powder in it. So you don't water down your coffee, you don't overbrew your coffee, and you don't need to use multiple pods to make coffee. So you know how big sort of a mug of coffee you like every day, you buy the one that suits your needs. But why has Nespresso only just brought the Vertuo system into Singapore this year? I mean, since 2014, it's been out in the US. Why now? Well, here's what I think. You see, I'm not sure if you noticed, but if you've walked around Fair Price, any kind of supermarket, you've probably noticed that more and more people are selling Nespresso compatible capsules, right? For the longest time, you could only get capsules from Nespresso, but recently you can get it just about anywhere. Even Starbucks is selling Nespresso compatible capsules. And it's not just coffee, you can even get tea capsules now. So this machine comes at a time where, again, now you only have pods that come from Nespresso, so they can kind of control what you drink again. If somebody can make a compatible Nespresso capsule, why can't they make a compatible Vertuo capsule? Well, Nespresso kind of took care of that with the whole design of this Vertuo system. If you look at the capsule itself, at the back of it, this isn't just some funny lines that is a design element. This is actually a barcode, right? Every Vertuo capsule has a barcode, and what this does is this actually tells the machine how to make this coffee, right? This is why each capsule has different sizes, and that's how the machine can tell one capsule from another, right? So how it brews the Diavolito is different from how it brews the Furtado, and it's different from how it brews the Intenso. Now there's depend how you look at this. There's a good side and a bad side. I mean, the good side is that you no longer have to worry about the correct brewing size, the correct brewing amount, the correct brewing time, water, everything is consistent cup to cup, because the machine reads the barcode and the machine does the brewing exactly how it's designed to do, right? Exactly how Nespresso designs it to do. On the other hand, I mean, you could always say that, hey, now you no longer have control over how you brew your coffee. Now, depending on how you think about it, this is either an ingenious or a nefarious way for Nespresso to sort of try to lock you in to their ecosystem. Because if you get a Vertuo machine, then you can only buy Vertuo pods. But they didn't really replace their entire lineup with Vertuo, right? You can still buy your standard Nespresso machines. You can still buy the standard Nespresso pods. You can still buy all your standard third-party Nespresso compatible pods. So choice is still there. So if you want the Vertuo machine, it's your choice to choose this over that, right? And here's what I think now. I've been using Nespresso for past couple of years. I think most people in Singapore, it's either Nespresso or the Nescafe Dolce Gusto system that are more popular, right? And the thing about Nespresso is there's never been a time where I've been left wanting of flavor, right? If they only sold the same coffee all these years, then maybe that would be a problem. But Nespresso kind of launches limited edition flavors, or almost every other month. And I've never thought that, hey, you know what this lacks? Starbucks. So let's finally get down to why you would choose the Nespresso Vertuo over standard Nespresso machines in the first place. And that's because this guy brews coffee in a completely new way. The standard Nespresso machine basically uses hot water and pressure. The Vertuo uses something Nespresso calls Centrifusion technology. It's a combination of centrifugal force and infusion. Big words. It just means that it spins the capsule. Yes. What you do is that when you put the capsule in, it basically spins it around up until 7,000 RPM, if I'm correct. It sort of mixes in the water and the coffee powder inside in this high-speed spinning mode, and what you get is actually a very smooth brew of coffee with this thick layer of like crema on top, and I don't know, it kind of reminds me of a very well tarik, teh tarik, or kopi tarik, if you want to call it that. Let's finally look at the machine. It's still a basic Nespresso machine, right? You have your water container at the back, which you can sort of move around, depends on where you want to put in. There is the back of the machine is where used capsules will pop in, right? It's at the back, and I've got a couple here for you to see. This is how it punctures the hole in. That's sort of, I guess, where water goes in and it spins, coffee comes back out. Ooh, smells good. Anyway, front of the machine, there's nothing much. You have the platform for your cup and drip catch. And if you can see, all this like sort of holes here is where you can put it depending on your cup size. And because it can make beverages up to like 414 ml, you can put in a rather large cup. Now, here's where it's cool. What I have here is the Vertuo Plus, which is like fully automated Nespresso machine. And right, how do you put a capsule in? It's like, ooh. Alright, so if you can see, that's where the capsule goes. It's basically a place you just fit it in there. Automated! And it closes. Cup goes here. One button press. And we wait. You can hear it spinning up. And we're done. Lift it back up. And there's this sort of like wire catchment that holds on to the capsule. We just drop it down into the container here. Oh, it smells so good. Check this out. Look at that coffee. Look at that thick sort of foamy crema on top. I don't know if you would actually call that, if that's the proper definition of crema in this case of how Nespresso makes it, but if you check it out, the bubbles on this are incredibly smooth and tiny, right? So you don't have very large bubbles. It's very small, very uniform. It looks really good. Smells really good. Whew. It's really good. Here's a question for you guys. How many glasses of coffee do you think I've had today making this video? Just from how I look. Hey guys, before you go, don't forget to check out HardwareZone.com for more of our articles, trends, reviews. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Join in the conversation. Like and subscribe to our YouTube if you want to see more of these videos. Do it.